We've all heard stories of people who say they were driven nearly crazy by voices in their head, distracting them, commanding them to hurt themselves, occasionally to hurt others. But now, for the first time, you can actually experience for a few moments what these people live with as they struggle with the illness known as schizophrenia.
They are present every waking minute. And worse, when night falls, they are everywhere.
Why don't you just leave?
The voices, the internal demons that take shape and form as words of torment. Evil! Unbidden, these voices can be triggered by certain religious symbols of faith.
Run away!
Mingle in the lyrics of songs. Spew venom from computers, cell phones, and radio. And send negative commands through the television airwaves. All the voices are evil intonations urging destruction and harm. Ken Steele has heard those voices most of his life.
I was 14 years old, listening to the radio like a lot of kids, hiding it under my bed. The announcer came on, and he started talking directly to me. I mean, he was talking about me and to me.
The voices commanded him to hurt himself. Ken's behavior became increasingly bizarre. The voices got louder and louder every day. He was no longer in control of his life. They were.
And they were very real.
Very real. As real as your voice.
Ken's worried parents took him to the family doctor, who finally put a name to his terrible ordeal: schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is a mental illness that is still largely a mystery. Its cause is unknown. Doctors can't explain why victims have symptoms such as paranoia and delusions. They don't know why monstrous hallucinations affect many schizophrenia victims, why 25% see visions and about 60% hear voices.
I couldn't do anything. I was so sedated.
Ken and many of the members of his support group share a history of seeing visions and hearing voices. Doctors say auditory hallucinations are often more dangerous than visual hallucinations because the spoken messages can drive victims to self-destructive behavior, go to tiny percent to turn violent, and eventually push 1 out of 10 to commit suicide. Using the technique of virtual reality, Janssen Pharmaceuticals has developed this device to stimulate the visual and auditory hallucinations of a schizophrenic patient.
Hi. Sorry I'm late. I had to take a phone call.
There's nothing wrong with you.
You're the one in control.
It works like this. The viewer looks into the goggles and watches an animated virtual scenario.
Are you okay? You seem distracted. Have you been seeing anything unusual?
When Ken put on the goggles, he was emotionally thrown back to the time he could not escape the visions and voices. Within moments, he started to panic, sweating, and hyperventilating.
Last time, you were talking about volunteering.
There he is. There's the one.
Have you spoken to them yet?
Oh, wow.
It feels like what you can remember going through?
Very much so, Doctor. Yes, I remember this.
And that kind of distortion.
Yeah, yes.
The doctor would look like that to you.
Yes. This, yes. This. Oh.
Okay. All right.
I'm sorry, guys.
Ken got his life back again 6 years ago. He now champions the cause of the mentally ill through his newspaper, New York City Voices. Ken is now free of both his visions and his voices. The drug Risperidol finally stopped the racket in his head.
Tim, that was extraordinary to see and hear what it is like for a schizophrenic. That's really the way it is?
Well, I could hardly believe it myself the first time I saw it, that time at Yale with Ken. So I turned to him after he had seen it, and I said, Ken, is that really what it's like? It seems so unbelievable. He said, Tim, that is what it's like.
Those faces, those voices. And there still is no treatment that can wipe this out. No one treatment.
No, there are drugs that are helpful today, but they're not precise. I think in the next 10 years we'll have some very precise treatments, and that'll be wonderful.
There has been so much misunderstanding about these people. Let's hope that can happen. Thank you, Tim.